All right, guys. So we're going to discuss two things that men want versus two things that women want. Welcome back to Resilient Man channel. Appreciate the support by liking and subscribing, and please share the channel with your other guys out there, other brethren that you think would enjoy the content. And of course, please comment your thoughts down below. I always enjoy reading them. So let's talk about these. First, we're going to discuss two things that women want, and then we're going to discuss two things that guys want. So stick around. I think you're going to enjoy this one. So I've heard it said women want two things: more and something else. And of course, we always laugh at that, because it's funny. But to a lot of men, it's not funny. And it's actually been their experience of the women in their life, the women that they've been with, have always wanted more and or something else. So let's explore this, guys, and how it affects you. So let's start with the more. Why is it women always want more? They never seem to be satisfied. And we see this play out on social media where, take in the dating scene. I mean, these women post on social media about their expectations and their standards and all of this good stuff. Standards and expectations that they really didn't have as a younger woman. They, got run through by Chad. And now as they're getting older, now they have standards. But I digress. So they post these videos about, I want this and I want that and I'm not going to settle and all this great stuff. And the expectations a lot of times are absolutely delusional, and they actually don't meet what we as men would want from our standards from a woman, especially from their market value, shall we say. And yet you see this, and I'm sure you've experienced this as a man. What you do is never enough. And, whether in dating or in marriage or whatever the case might be, I mean, we've all had these similar experiences where the woman in your life always wants more. I know in my own life, I've experienced this. I worked 60 hours a week, many times, 2 jobs. And when I was married, my wife was always, it was never enough. She always wanted more. And, you need to do more housework. You need to do more of this. You need to do that. You need to do this. And I know a lot of you guys, this has affected you as well, from your woman always wanting more, never being satisfied with what you do, how much you contribute, how much you bring into the household. And it manifests in many different ways. I mean, be it the work you do around the house, or I know a big one for a lot of men is financially. In many cases, the wife wants to or has overextended the household financially, be it because they want instant gratification. They can't practice delayed gratification, be it they want new furniture or they want to go on this trip or whatever the case might be. And unfortunately, I've heard from a lot of men, I know I experienced this myself, that when you have the conversation, high volume conversation, a lot of times between you and your wife, you're told, well, you simply need to work harder. You need to make this happen because, the entitled princess, that's the way she says it. Have you been there? I've been there. Always wanting more. Never satisfied with, what you do and how hard you work and the income you bring in is enough. And she's content. It's always wanting more. There's many other examples of that. We see that, of course, in our society today, where women are just never satisfied, and they're always looking for the grass is always greener, the next best thing. I want more, I want more, I want more, instead of being content with what they have, and especially their man, you, what you bring to the table, and the tremendous benefits that you are to their life. So, number two, the something else. So, women want more, and then they always seem to want something else. This is something that is just epidemic in our society today. It's what we see, and it's the reason why, women are initiating divorce at a rate of 70 to 80%. They are initiating and filing for divorce because, they want, the grass is greener, they want something else, they think they can do better. Many, many different reasons. You can go on social media and it's just, oh my gosh, woman after woman crying and posting, he didn't meet my needs, and so I moved on. And, the interesting thing to me is, weren't you the one? Weren't you the love of her life? Weren't you the guy that was going to make her dreams come true? And then I guess that just fizzled out, and she got to a point where, I'm bored with this dude, and I want to go find something else because I can monkey branch and, find something better. Again, women leaving their marriages and relationships and stuff because they think the grass is greener, and quote unquote, her needs were not met. And, the fascinating thing, the sad thing, quite frankly, is then you see them in later posts on these social media outlets where the reality then hits them. That, the reality hits them hard. These women crying on social media how I left my marriage, I initiated a divorce, I did all this, blah, 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 and now I'm in terrible financial straits. And now I miss my husband. I realize what a good man he was, and that I really had a good thing. I really had a good thing, and I literally threw it away because I wanted, quote unquote, something else. So there's many other examples, guys, but those are the two things that many women want. So let's talk about the two things that men want. And again, this is a generalization, but I truly believe that these two things that I'm about to discuss are what the majority of men want. And they're very simple. They're very simple things. And it's unfortunate, but lots of women cannot meet these two things or simply don't want to. And it's sad. And it goes back to they want more, they want something else. Let's get into the two things that men want, okay? Number one, someone that they're attracted to. Someone that they're attracted to. Now, let me expand on this. Obviously, men were visually oriented. We like hot, beautiful women, love to look at their bods and all that good stuff. Of course we do. That's how we're made. That's how we're wired. But for a lot of men, the woman that they are with or are satisfied with and content with, she doesn't have to be perfect. She doesn't have to have a perfect body. She doesn't have to be straight off the pages of some magazine. In many ways, they're attracted to their woman in many other ways. I mean, yeah, there is the physicality. That's a big piece of it. But there's also her attitude. Does she bring a soft, feminine, traditional way about her? Does she want to really fully be in her femininity and be a woman? That is very attractive to a lot of us men. And that is what I mean when I say someone that the first thing that men want is someone that we're attracted to. The physical, but also the attitude that she brings, the peace that she brings, the softness that she brings. That is very attractive to a lot of men. And so that would be number one. Comment down below if you have something to add to that. Number two thing that men want is kind of segues from what I just said. Someone who is pleasant to have in our lives. Now, what does that mean? Rather obviously, we don't want drama. We don't want problems. We don't want a nuisance. We don't want a hassle. You know, there are many women in our society who almost make that a sport of manufacturing drama, manufacturing problems within their relationships, and they do it. It's really a self-sabotaging thing, and the man, you know, and many times the man in their life will come to a point where he's just fed up. He's just, man, I'm just fed up. I don't want to deal with her anymore. I mean, he could even love her and, you know, would hope that she would be in his life as his lifetime companion. But there does come a point where if she is not pleasant to have in your life, it does get to a point where, man, I just can't deal with this. Enough is enough. So that would be number two that most men want. Someone pleasant to have in our lives. She brings peace. She brings tranquility. It goes back to being a soft, feminine woman that complements our male masculinity and what we bring to the relationship. So, guys, those are the two things that I truly believe that, you know, most men want those two things first and foremost. Someone they're attracted to, someone, you know, that's pleasant to have in your life. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Guys, stay resilient out there. Stay resilient. Check out the rest of the content here on Resilient Man channel. Like and subscribe. Support the channel. Share it with your brethren. And know your worth. Protect your peace.